Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
That's what Biden said when he fell off that bike, right? Oh no. You're timely.
That was timely. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tavern Talk, a full spoiler show brought to you by The Way the Leaf. I am Ryan.
And I'm Ryan's brother, Dan.
And we have a great show. Oh, I have something. We have a great show for you today. It is Father's Day, and we're going to celebrate by bringing in some actual dads, biological dads, real dads.
Well, but Ryan, before that, yellow is your color, my man.
Thank you. I feel strong in it.
Damn it, you look so good.
Hey. Take it up with my wife. Brother Dan, I wanted to say to you, Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to
Ryan, I want to say, Happy Father's Day to you!
Okay, well, I was going to say, why is there no Father's Day song? And I need you to make one up right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, the sun is out. Let's play. It's time to kill and slay. We're gonna kill some people tonight with my dad. Happy Father's Day. Let's kill some people. Happy Father's Day. Let's kill the neighbors. Happy Father's Day. I don't like them. Kill their dogs with me. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
All right, let's open that tavern door.
Right.
What?
You asked for that.
No, we'll get to it. All right, and here are all the people. Yeah.
Here's all the people.
Here's the roof. Here's the steeple. Open the doors. See all the people.
Guys, as dads, the first thing we would do is put WD-40 on that tavern door, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Yep.
Dan, I didn't. That's so uncanny you brought that up. I literally today WD-40'd our bathroom door that's been creaking for 2 straight years. And I'm such a non-dad. I Amazon the WD-40. I was like, I'm not going to
They
Harvest.
sell it at like 7-Eleven, Ryan.
God, they make me feel. Yeah, 7-Eleven make me feel small.
Ryan, let's go ahead and introduce our the men here down here, shall we?
Have at it, Haas.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go clockwise, which means beyond you.
Yonder.
We have Wolf Brother 7. Welcome. Can you please list your dad credentials, please?
Hi. Howdy. How you guys doing?
Doing amazing.
I am a father of 2.5 children. Half because it's part-time for one. He's at his dad's. The other half of the time. And the other 2 are mine. So they're my credentials. I also have a dog. I am probably
for some
terrible.
reason I'm picturing,
even though I'm a wolf brother, I'm probably a terrible dog father.
No.
Oh no! Let's work on that. You can always get better. I'm picturing your whole family walking around with the Way the Leaf t-shirts, the official wardrobe. I'm sorry, guys. You guys did not get the memo to wear your Way the Leaf t-shirt.
I didn't know. I would have.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm imagining as the dog father, you're like, I'm going to give you a treat you can't refuse.
You guys ever seen Courage the Cowardly Dog, where Eustace goes, "Stupid dog"? That's me, and I never thought I'd be that person, but I am Eustace from Courage the Cowardly
Wolf
Dog.
Brother, okay. As a father, I let my kids watch cartoons, but that was one cartoon I did not let them watch. I did not find any value in it. I thought it just taught evil, bad behavior, and I did not let them watch that show.
See, my dad never let me watch Ren and Stimpy.
Stimpy.
You bumbling fool.
Stimpy.
Stimpy, you idiot.
Stimpy.
Well, let's go clockwise. Thank you for being here, Wolf Brother.
Yeah, and
Happy
thanks
Father's Day.
for having
man.
me.
I appreciate that we kept the Ren and Stimpy to like a 0.5 seconds. Thank you. Any longer? No, please. Any longer? I would have unsubscribed.
Jesus. Like, hey, hit the thumbs, guys, if you want some Ren and Stimpy. All right, guys, is at about like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the clock here. We have MRHowley.
Hey.
Hello, my friend.
How's it
Happy
going?
Father's Day.
Same to you. Same to both of you.
You're so well lit.
Thanks, man. Running around like crazy right before the show.
Give me your dad credentials, buddy.
Husband for about 26 years, father for 22 of them. I've got a 22, 20, and 18-year-old. So those are my credentials. And I'm
you don't
done.
look a day over 22.
Yeah.
Thanks,
you got
man.
adult children
Appreciate
now.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, adult children. All different. They just take your plastic credit card instead of their plastic toys. So,
Do your kids ask you to Venmo them?
oh, all the time. Especially my daughter. Dad, I need money for food.
Oh yeah, we encourage everyone to call out your children live on YouTube, embarrass them to no end. So
Yes,
happy
indeed.
to have you.
Have you had a wonderful day so
Thanks,
far, MRHowley?
Actually, to tell you the truth, the weather here has been absolutely fantastic. And yesterday had a garage sale. And did some beef Wellington last night. Tried it for the first time. Woke up this morning, finished it off, and then I had a cocktail with my mom and my wife and some dinner, and now hanging with you guys. So pretty much
awesome.
a perfect day, I would say.
Well, tell Mo we appreciate
weekend, I should say
you, her allowing you to share your Father's Day with us. I appreciate all your guys' time. I know that, and I appreciate all your partners as well for allowing you guys to go hide in your den and talk to puppets. Thanks for being here, MR.
Thanks.
Brett from the Will Read.
Yeah, first time.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, very excited to be here.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad I could make it happen for today. So it's pretty hectic, and there's a possibility that a 4-year-old or a almost 2-year-old might come downstairs at some point because they're not in bed yet because it's only 5 o'clock here. So yeah.
Well, you get bonus points if a kid gets on stage.
Okay.
That's what
all right.
happened.
Yeah, it's encouraged.
Do they have like a cash value? Can I trade those points in after the show, or can I get one of those lovely T-shirts? I don't know.
It's
look at that.
Ooh,
Nice.
You want to trade one of your kids for a T-shirt?
I would totally do that. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but
I'm working on. Yeah, I think we got a deal. I'm easy. Everyone knows that.
All right, we'll talk to you after.
All right, deal.
Well, I am very glad you're here. You were with the Will Weaves podcast. Can you give us a little synopsis of what that is?
Yeah, for sure. It's a first-time reader aimed podcast. Just because my wife has never read the series before. Well, when we started, and now we're on book 7, so we pretty much go chapter by chapter through the book and get to explore the Wheel-Time universe from a first-time perspective, which is very fun for veteran readers too, because it's really fun to listen to what crazy shenanigans she thinks are happening. So yeah, but we're on book 7 now because we started about 3 years ago.
Wow! So how is she with the pacing of the show? Does she want to like read forward and is being stifled, or is she like, oh shucks, we got a show tonight, I got to read this?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of funny, but she always says it's a terrible way to read a book, honestly, because it's like 1 or 2 chapters at a time, and then you stop until you record, and then you get to read another 1 or 2 chapters. So she always says it's a terrible way to read a book, but we're doing it for the show, so she is forced to do that now.
I
forced it.
Ryan and I also Ryan, your mic, you're getting a little breaky uppy right now.
Mr. Roboto.
You're domo arigato.
That's right.
We also have a first-time reader show, and I feel so empathetic for what we put our first-time readers through.
It's not nice. It's not nice. But
they text me all the time being like, well, this was a shitty spot to end. And I'm like, only 3 chapters, boys.
But I have to say though, it's like if like I read the books back when they were being released. So, you'd have to wait 2 years for a book to come out. So, I mean, as soon as she's done book 7, she can move on to book 8. She don't have to wait for that. So she does have a little bit of an advantage in some aspects, but not
What was
not
the
all.
first book you had to wait for?
Pardon me?
What was the first book in the series you had to wait for?
First one I had to wait for, I believe, was it was 8 or 9, I think. It was so long ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly when it was because it was just kind of like life, right? I wasn't, trying to remember everything. And being up in Canada, I never got to go down to any conventions or anything like that. So, they don't let us. They don't let us out of the country. They just say, you can't go anywhere. You got to stay in Winnipeg. It's just not a thing. You can't travel over the border. So
they go, oh, Brett, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's like not you.
No. Just go back home.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here, Brett. And again, thank Danny for, man in the fort while you're out playing with us.
She's maintaining up there.
I do appreciate your time and her effort. Thank you. And finally, we have Gleeman Twitch.
How's it going?
I am better than most, and I am happy to see you.
Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So tell me your dad credentials.
So I am the father of 2 boys, and it's the oldest is 11 and the youngest is 8 and trans. And so it's been fun and an adventure, but
nice.
I thoroughly enjoy being a father.
Absolutely. So, and I'm glad that you mentioned. So, your kids are in just kind of going into middle school, kind of maybe going into high school. I mean, so the 8-year-old is what, in 3rd grade?
So he will be going into 3rd grade. Yep.
Okay. And the 11-year-old is
going into 6th grade.
Yeah. So that's middle school, right?
So we just moved back to Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. Where we were in Minnesota, he would have been going into middle school. But coming back here, he's going to be going back into the last year of elementary school. It's K through 6.
So they call him like a lesser elder in Utah.
If I remember correctly, the term is like deacon. when they turn 12, I was a deacon. I was raised Mormon. I wised up,
I wised up.
No offense to anybody.
Well, you know what? Humor hurts. I don't mean to offend anyone, but I'm gonna, I'm not gonna say I'm sorry. So, anyways, welcome, one and all. Happy Father's Day to every one of you. Happy Father's Day to everyone in chat, everyone watching now. We are going to do a little examination. Yes. MRHowley?
Brother Dan, what about you? What are your specs?
Oh, I watched the Cosby Show growing up.
That's it? That's where you're pulling all your dad references from tonight?
So I figure that they're going to act up moderately, and then I'll sit on the couch with them and have my lawyer wife come in while I'm a gynecologist in the basement.
Okay.
I don't know. No, I kid. I actually have 5 kids, and I have twins included in that. They just turned 18. They are my youngest, and my eldest is 25. So I saw them all today for Father's Day. We hung out for a bit, and I am it's obscenely proud of the young adults that they are becoming. So, and I like this spectrum that we have. We have middle schoolers. We have people like MR and I who have kids that just graduated high school, and we have some little kids here. So we have the spectrum of fatherhood, right? Ish. Who knows? But the spectrum of fatherhood in the Wheel of Time is, so that's what we're going to kind of dive into. We're going to look at fatherhood specifically in this book series. I suppose that this should start off with the father that we see right off the bat. And the father, if we think of this series, who we connect to, it's Tam Althor.
I was going to say the father of lies.
The father of lies.
Oh, I was going to say Louis Theron Telamon.
Technically,
Yeah,
the first
he did,
father
yeah.
we meet is Louis Theron Telamon right after he's murdered all of his children.
Right.
Oh,
So not the
okay.
best parenting
Not
strategy.
the best role model. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Luz.
Sorry to go dark there.
Yeah, he was go dark early.
Granted. And then we have Tam Althor. Tam Althor is probably the best father that we see in the entire book, in my opinion. He raises the Dragon Reborn. He teaches him how to do the Flame in the Void. He keeps him safe in Edmund's Field, away from anyone, and he's a blade master and shit. I mean, but he saves him on the slopes of Dragon Mountain.
Single father at that.
Yes. For most of the time, he is. Yep. But I would say he's a foster father that he came home with a wife, right? So I wish we knew more about Carrie as well and how that happened. But yeah, he was a soldier with an infant in Ilion, or so let's talk to him, shall we? I'm not sure what question I'm a little taken aback that Ryan it bumped out. So let's talk to him. He is. Let me read something to you. In fact, there is when Rand in book 4, the Shadow Rising, is talking about the prophecy to the Aiel. He is in the Carol Doll, and he's like, what does the prophecy of Viridian say? Born of the blood, my mother was Shael, a maiden of the Shumai Tardad. Then he thinks, who was she really? Where did she come from? Then he says, my father was Janduin of the Iron Mountain Sept, clan chief of the Tardad. And then in Rand's head, he says, my father is Tam Althor. He found me, raised me, loved me. I wish I could have known you, Janduin, but Tam is my father. So this line has been going through my head a bit. As far as nature versus nurture, the idea of a father throwing seed into a womb, as opposed to a father being the role model, and so a father figure could actually be Master Luhan, even though he wasn't anywhere related to Perrin.
Right.
Robert Jordan, let's talk about, I guess, just Two Rivers fathers. And you guys go ahead and bail me out, because I'm throwing water over a boat right now. I got a hole in there.
That's okay.
Jump in.
So there's an interaction. I believe it's the beginning of the Great Hunt between Lan and Rand when they're training on the tower, and Rand struggling, and Lan makes a comment. And I don't have all my books are packed up right now. I'm in the middle of a move, but Lan makes a statement. Is like, in Malkier, it doesn't matter who your actual biological father is, who raised you, who taught you how to be a man, who was there every time you were down. That's who your father is.
Yeah, it's a very, like, he may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy, right? It's a very Yondu-esque moment.
Yeah, exactly. And he was basically saying, like, Tam's your father, whether he, you actually share blood with him, it doesn't matter. He's your father, and like you said, he's for the majority of the time he's a single father, and that's, like you said, nurture versus nature. That's who Rand struggles with it for so long.
Yeah.
Because
I want to bail out Rand here too, because I mean that you do have a very good point where he really struggles right from the very beginning with the fact like, oh man, Tam's not my actual birth father. But I mean, we got to pay this kid a little bit of like, cut him a little bit of slack here, because from the span of him leaving him in his field to finding out like Tam isn't his dad, like, and then to when he finds out who his real father was, that doesn't take very long. That's only like what, a year maybe. The entire book series is like what, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So he kind of comes full circle to be like, okay, I've hashed it out in my brain. Tam is my dad, even though he's not my actual biological father. It's still cool. But he gets over that, like, considering he had no idea. Tam clearly never talked about this at all, which, I mean, points against Tam. Maybe you should have maybe mentioned it. I don't know. But communication. But I mean, yeah, he does get over it relatively quickly to come to terms like, okay, Tam is actually my dad.
Fair. Very fair.
Yeah.
So when we look at the show did Abel Cawthon kind of dirty. Abel Cawthon is a dirtbag on the show. And this is meant to direct Matt's character. So this shows just what, like, all right, so this is the father you have, then this is the trauma that you have to deal with as a young adult. In the books, Abel is, I don't know how noble a horse trader necessarily is.
Isn't he Robin to Tam's Batman?
Ooh, I like that.
Because remember when they meet Varen in the woods in the shack, it's like those two are doing the hunting and, they're like, we don't want to owe the Aes Sedai. But, I mean, he's always seems to be at Tam's side. He went to Tar Valon with him and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would give him Robin status.
Yeah, absolutely. In the books, for sure. He definitely does have that. But it's kind of like two equally badass, like, dads in the Two Rivers. Like, is it really necessary for the TV show? I mean, I don't know. Like, I also don't necessarily, I love Abel, but for the TV show, can he be a dirtbag? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Like,
but I think it does show redemption. It does show what a father. In a dramatic series. Mm-hmm. So if you have a shitty father, then therefore Matt is struggling to a certain degree. His mom is distressed. He's playing the father role to his sisters. When the Trollocs come, the role has shifted. Abel has completely abandoned the father figure per se, and at the end, at the end of the episode 1, Matt kind of gives him the stink eye, and Abel can't even look at him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm shitty. I'm shitty." So this just shows the TV show is even recognizing what a father is supposed to be doing, and Matt doesn't have it in the show. He has the exact opposite. He has this philanderer that's doing the shit right on the picnic benches, right outside the wine spring.
Well, and it opens up the redemption arc too, if they need that for Matt in the future. So I think it's actually kind of a smart play on their part. So.
Ooh, I hear kids. Happy Father's Day! Kids are fun.
Close to the camera.
No, they're downstairs. They just happened to start shouting for a second.
Oh.
Well, brother, what do you think about the fathers in the Two Rivers?
The Two Rivers fathers, and going off the book here, they all seem like, just your typical dad, right? Do your work, get your work done, listen, get your chores done. So I don't know. They're just Abel is kind of like a cookie cutter of Tam, and Luhan, Master Luhan, who I argue is Perrin's father when you first read the books, right? Mm-hmm. Is again cookie cutter. They're kind of all the same, and they all have just like the tweak aspect. Like Abel's the best, horse trader in the Two Rivers. Master Luhan's the blacksmith, right? So it's like they are all equally great at each one of those things. But they seem to be all good fathers.
Yeah, you could even do. You could throw Alvear into that as well.
Master Alvear.
Yeah,
Right.
like councilman and all that.
Yeah.
But of course, you have your Billy Congers.
Well, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, I guess I'm going off of the, just everybody's our point of view characters, right? They all seem to have, which that's why I do enjoy the change in the show for Abel Coffin, right? It's not all cookie cutters.
Yeah, and I mean, even looking
throwing
at the
some
book
tile
series,
roof with that thatched roof.
Yeah, the dads don't do much. Like, all in all, as much as I would have loved to see so much more Tam in the book series, like, you really don't get a heck of a lot until he finally comes back, like however many books later. And Abel Coffin, after like the Shadow Rising, like where is he? Right? He's barely there. So the series doesn't really focus on the fathers, so there wasn't really much of a point in my eyes to like develop that character. For the book series, it's like, yeah, they're generally good dudes. Cool. Let's move on to the kids and let's talk about their qualities. But from the TV show perspective, like, maybe we're going to get more Tam. Like, maybe we're going to get more Abel and everything. Maybe Matt's going to go back to Emmons Field at some point to, get that redemption with his dad or whatever it may be. So it just really depends where they're taking that.
Right. And we do have a pretty known actor as Tam Althor in the show, who had a shockingly minimal role in the first season.
Yeah, got to give that guy some screen time.
I assume with you that he is going to expand a bit.
Yeah.
You got it. I mean, yeah, you got it. Anyways, but
the Coplans and the Congers, were they all just dicks for dads?
I mean, there's not a lot of positive things said about the Coplans.
I know. It's like they're,
they don't really describe them, but you assume, they're shitty people, they're shitty husbands, they're probably shitty dads.
I think it's a shitty town that says that calls things Copland talk. I think this is a larger issue. I think that there was some slander that was thrown about that they're like, 2 generations ago, or even 25 years ago, when Brand Alvear wasn't mayor, there was shit thrown about a certain Copland. They're like, Perrin says it all the time. That's Copland talk. And you're like, dude, there's a Copland living 4 doors away. Why are you saying that?
It's like political undercutting, right? In Emmons Field here. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And, I'll talk to you about it off air because I've gone on about it. But Brand Alvear's been mayor for 20 years.
Right.
All right. So, anyways. So within Emmons Field, we have mostly nuclear families, right? We call parents an apprenticeship. Apparently, he's committed. He didn't go to college. He went to trade school, and he at 17, and he's just going to be the blacksmith. But for the most part, there's these nuclear families. Rand was born from an Aiel woman. The Aiel have I don't know what the role of a father is in the Aiel society at all. Do you?
That's a loaded question.
It's funny to me because the Aiel society is so well fleshed out for what we see, but like there's not a lot like when it talks to like the farmers and the pickers and like it's so focused on the war society, but there's got to be this other part of the society that is more nuclear, as like kids going to school, kids doing their chores, people doing the jobs that need to be done throughout the day, right? Like to run a society, and they talk little bits about that. And so, but most of the Aiel culture we get is all, wise women, like the seps.
The clans and stuff.
Yeah, like the high level and like the clan chiefs, the wise ones, and then the war society. We don't get any of it. I mean, I don't know. Roof mistress, is that part of? I guess that would be the most we get
And
outside of
blacksmiths.
like
yeah. Well, I want to expand on that.
But
'cause
even
you bring up a
that
very good
blacksmith
point.
is, go ahead.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
was going to say it's a very good point you bring up, just about like how does it actually function. I mean, Emmons Field, nuclear family is very small town conservative, and that is also like a more recent family dynamic and village dynamic. But the IEL take on the more of like it's the village that raises the child, it's not the family. So the father and mother don't necessarily have that much of an important like actual like fundamental parenting perspective, because it's like your wise ones are going to like oversee training. You're going to join a society and get your mentors and trainers there. So does the role of the father, and in ideal society when people are dying more often than other societies, you have to kind of disconnect from the mother and father, because what happens if your dad dies, right? What happens if your mom dies? Like you got to have that next step, that village that's still going to teach you properly how to become ideal. So
well, here's what it says specifically. So Edelyn in chapter 57 of Breaking in the Threefold Land, she explains why the maidens hold Rand's honor. And it says, quote, "For countless years, maidens who would not give up the spear have given their babies for the wise ones to hand to other women, none knowing where the child went or even whether boy or girl. Now a maiden son has come back to us, and we know him. We will go to Al-Khardal for your honor, son of Shael, a maiden of the Shumai Tardad." There is no mention of the father. There is no, the father doesn't seem to exist in this society at all.
But could that just be coming from a maiden's perspective? Because I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a bad point.
You kind of see it with the clan chiefs and the wise ones, right? I mean, that's the only real type of intimate type of situation you see for the father within that society, where shade of my heart, things of that nature, and where they're lounging on their rugs and things like that. I think that's, thinking through the books, I think that's the only time, and most of the time they're just killing machines.
Yeah, I feel like the closest like father-child relationship you have among the Aiel that we really see is between Ruark and Avienda. I can't really think of any other.
Hell, I would even say it's Barrelane and not Avienda. It seemed like
Well,
Ruark was more of a father figure to her than to Avienda.
Well, and you could also make an argument that Ruark is also kind of a father figure to Rand for a time.
Oh, true.
Especially after Land leaves. So
well,
really,
I think that goes to Brett's point.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so really, like, no, you're right. So really, like, the only father figure you really ever see is Ruark, who also has this completely other role of leading the clans.
Yeah. So it does seem like it's not as important. So yeah. And I mean, also considering the Aiel, like there's a lot of parallels to Judaism, and in Judaism, it's like the mother's lineage that matters for passing on Judaism. If the mother's Jewish, then the kids are inherently Jewish. If the mother's not, I mean, we're talking like super traditional, obviously, but then they're not, right? So it may also be like another parallel with the Aiel, where it's like, yeah, the woman's lineage is more important. So RJ could be like tweaking or drawing a little bit of real world inspiration there. Holy smokes, he's back. All right.
Time to go. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Hey, that's been a fun show, everyone. Guys. Thanks for joining us.
What'd I miss?
You missed it all. No, we're still talking Tam. And no, actually, we're talking Aiel now. The difference between Rand being raised in the Two Rivers as opposed to Rand if he potentially was raised within the Aiel.
All right, carry on. You're doing great, guys.
Thanks. So yeah, the Aiel is a bit disappointing in their as far as I'm concerned. As far as the male, I don't see a lot of father figures within the Aiel. They're just, and it almost seems like you just got to learn toe, and once you learn toe, you'll be a man, or whatever the fuck, some pride stuff. I don't know.
We do see father-son relations when we go into the Wayback Machine in Ruidian. And especially like closer to the beginning, right? Like at the end of all those chapters, we have the interactions with the grandfather, and I can't remember any of the names.
That's right. There is a whole family
and the
dynamic.
Grandson, and even those, they seem
fraught,
disconjointed, right? Yes, this is my great father, but really he's just kind of the crazy old man, you know.
It seems like it's always centered around conflict.
Yes.
Like you picked up the spear, or, oh, you can't, drop the tree of life, or whatever. I can't remember specific references. Right, exactly. Like there's some type of disappointment factor to it. Exactly.
Well, and yes, like there's the disownership when the first Aiel picks up the spear to go, save his sisters, and his father and mother are basically like, I don't know who you are. The Aiel family culture is not overly healthy, is it?
But so let me ask a quick question. No. Does anybody know RJ's, like, his relationship with his father? Like, has that ever been talked about within the community? Like, how that may have affected how he wrote these societies?
I don't know.
RJ stole his dad's car when he was 12. He drove to the liquor store.
He got a pack of Lucky Strikes.
His dad hit him with a switch and made him walk home.
and apologize to the liquor store.
Yeah. Smack him upside the head.
Yeah.
And they're also. I love this topic because there's an inherent fragility to the Aiel also. When they learn the kind of truth of their nature, so to speak, a third of them just go fucking mad, start wandering the desert like.
Well, maybe it's because they had no one to turn to be like, what's going on, elder figure who's been in my life forever.
Crazy
but they are a warrior society. They're constantly at conflict with each other. There's not a lot of room for comforting and nurturing.
I don't have time for that.
Is it also maybe a repercussion of the taint? Because men, I mean, as we see throughout a lot of the societies, they are matriarchal, and maybe this is a repercussion within Aiel because they, all the men who can channel have to go up and kill themselves. Basically, they go on their suicide missions, and the wise ones have taken over control on that level, if you will. Maybe control's not a little aggressive, but.
You have the clan chiefs and the wise ones, and then in the Two Rivers you have the council and the women's circle.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Well, then you have the sea folk too. They run things the exact same way. Now, RG like to kind of split it up and do it like a little bit different, but still very much the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Goes back to cookie cutter wolf brother. Yep.
Yeah.
Do I have to drink because I said taint?
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I'll drink with you. Cheers. And
when did this precedent get set?
Slanja. Guess Ryan.
I don't know.
Ryan,
David Cook called me out.
Oh yeah. Gleeman, I'd love to see your face more. If you can get some light on that beautiful mug.
Sorry, I'm at the in-laws' house. Is that any better?
Okay, go down, kick the in-laws out of the kitchen and take over the kitchen. That's always got great lighting in the kitchen. Just be like, hey, I'm doing a show. Please.
I'm already pulling the It's Father's Day, card to be able to do this.
Okay, you're doing something. I knew you'd be nice. Dan, you've given us something to listen to.
I was one. You know what? We're gonna get off of Tam, but I had written a tiny song about Tam, and for Father's Day, I was kind of thinking it's not long, it was a one take little thing, and the sound is shit. But yeah, I'm going. Yeah, let's listen. Do you mind?
Play it. It's our show, Dan.
It's our show. You're right. All right. Ready?
I mind this weird screen we're looking at.
When I was not quite a man, I left the Two Rivers I fought in the war for Ilian, and what I saw still gives me shivers. I left the battle and found a babe blue in the snow. His mother dead nearby. Why she fought, man, I don't know. I'll take him home with me, and nothing will be the same. Yes, my love, Carrie, Rand is a good name. Rand is a good name. Rand is the perfect name for this boy. Rand is a good name. And your smile will bring him joy all of his days. Just stay with us. I miss you, Carrie.
Dude, you want grandkids so bad.
Bravo.
That is awesome.
Agam?
Well done. Oh,
you muted.
So I got it was Tam Althor, I think, is an amazing guy in this book. And yeah, I was trying to demonstrate that in that song, like him. I don't know.
so
Excellent job.
I don't know how far we got in the Tam discussion, but I got some thoughts on the man. Tam Althor, I just in my reread got to the part where Rand is confronting Lanfear. I guess she has a different name now. I don't remember it, but she's going by some crazy ass name. And
Sindane.
thank you. He's Sindane, yeah. Okay, and he says, "Open yourself to me. Open yourself to me." She says, "No, I can't do it." And then he opens himself to her, partly to show that there's no scrap of love or thought of her inside of him at all. He wanted her to see the void of him, but also he wanted her, and I believe the quote is, to see that he's still the sheep herder raised by Tam Althor. Boom. And then he goes on to save the world. I have a theory that this iteration of the wheel, this story with Rand, is a telling that like Rand was able to do things that no other iteration of himself has been able to do before or since. Right? I believe that he had been able to elevate his consciousness and his soul and his body to basically Bodhisattva level, right? He's walking around growing shit. He's farting like Febreze, and he can do no
Wait,
wrong.
Tam Althor is farting Febreze?
No, Rand is farting Febreze.
Okay.
Yeah. No, so
he's
Rand is a Bodhisattva. He's doing things I think that are possibly unprecedented. And then when he's confronting the Dark One, he's able to do something I think that had never happened in the history of all of time, which was to take himself out of the pattern, take the Dark One out of the pattern, and basically look him in the face and and see him for the little wimpy thing he is. I think that was the only time that had ever happened. And I think that's why this story is relevant and interesting. It's not just one story that's going to repeat in 7 turnings of the wheel. This has a special story, and Rand had been able to do something special. And in that moment, when he took the Dark One out, he was able to take his whole of humanity, his own personal humanity, make the right decision, and keep the wheel turning out of love for others. And I think all of this can be brought back to Tam Althor, and that's why it's so important. He revealed himself as, quote unquote, the sheep herder who was raised by Tam Althor. And I think Tam Althor is the most important character in the book. And I have a whole other theory. I think he should be a hero of the Horn. We'll go down with that. Yeah, but Tam Thor, I'm gushing right now. I love him. What do you guys think of that theory? Do you think that this Rand was able to do something that was unprecedented, and was it because of Tam?
Yeah, I'm gonna take that and run too, because one of my favorite theories about Tam is that he always knew that Rand was the Dragon Reborn. Because it's kind of funny, but everyone dismisses the Ravens prologue. But
Brett.
Whoa!
This is Ryan's pet theory. This is Ryan's pet theory. You were. I am sorry to interrupt, but goddamn, I've never heard someone say that he's
This is
known
my
all
favorite
along
one.
except for Ryan.
No one has ever said this on our
for
show
sure.
ever. Go on,
Dude
keep going.
is okay, and you jump in if you want to add anything. But here's the thing: Tam is super smart. He reads a lot. Not only that, but he knows the prophecies of the dragon, because in the Ravens prologue, he's telling the dragon prophecies to the kids and correcting them on like who the Dragon Reborn actually is. And then he basically gets silenced by the village council and the women's circle and everybody saying, "Don't say anything. You're not allowed to tell these stories anymore." But here's the
Rand
thing:
was like, "Hey, Tam, come tell the story. You tell it way better than me." He knew it.
Yeah, so he knows the prophecies, and in the prophecies, we know that the dragon is reborn on the slopes of Dragon Mount, and Tam isn't an idiot. He knows what Dragon Mount is.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no!
So did RJ do that prologue on purpose?
Wait,
or
Brett,
the Ravens prologue on purpose to just highlight Tam Althor?
I don't know. There's a lot going on in that prologue.
Not much.
I think we lost.
I mean, not much. I mean, there's sheep shearing.
Yeah. No, it's very possible, because it's kind of like Tam knowing, and then
oh shoot, man!
Oh no!
Brett, you're breaking up.
Forward,
all right, Brett.
Oh, okay.
Brett, yeah, you've broken up a bunch. We couldn't.
All right, say it again. Say it again.
Am I back now?
I think you're back.
Okay, hopefully. If I cut out, you can just, finish this theory off. But no, the whole point about Tam is if he knows the prophecies, he knows about Rand, he raised this boy knowing all the while that this was very likely to be the Dragon Reborn. So when Moraine finally shows up when he's 18, he knows what an Aes Sedai is. He's not an idiot. And she's like, I got to take these boys. Why else would a father let their child go unless he knew, like, all along someday something like this was going to happen? And he's like, okay. And then he follows after, obviously, to try and like follow up with it. But in my heart, I fully
there's a line in Memory of Light when
believe Tam knew.
Sorry.
No, I know. Yeah. Okay. Brett, you broke up again. I think you just basically ended up saying you just fully believe that Tam knew. I have follow-up questions for you, Brett. I've never been more excited on the show.
Yeah, Ryan, this is your wheelhouse right now.
I know, but Wolf Brother want to add something, and then I want to ask Brett the question. Go, Wolf Brother.
So in the sparring session with the one hand, he gifts his dad the sword, and his Tam the sword. Rand gifts Tam the sword, and he's like, no, it'll just end up in another chest and it'll go to waste. I should have just, I should have never kept the first one. I should have just thrown it away, right? But he kept it, and he kept it for a reason, not just because he was a blade master. He doesn't seem to be the person to keep on holding on to things that he has no use for. So it's like, why did he keep that sword in the chest, right? Why even have that secret, or have that secret be able to be found? Why teach, and then also why teach Rand the Flame in the Void, right?
But how about this
That's
too?
the
Why?
question.
And also, just to like stack onto this theory too, Tam is, from all intents and purposes and what we've seen, he's an all-around good dude, right? Like, that makes sense. And he seems like he's got a very strong, healthy relationship with Rand. Why would you never tell Rand that, hey, you're not actually my son, you're adopted? Why would you never have a conversation unless you know that he's the Dragon Reborn and you're trying to hide him until the day comes of the patterns, like, we got to get him. it's exactly like, why would you hide him away like this for so long? Like, there's no other reason in my mind the town would never bring that up. It's just
yeah. All right, Brett. Okay, so let's take it further. Yeah, so I believe that Tam believed Rand instantly when he said there's someone following him.
Yes.
I believe that he's been ready for that moment. I believe he carried on to the town to warn the people about what's happening.
Village Council.
And I think that is why not very many people died during the attack.
Oh yeah, and he knows what a Trolloc is. He knew the attack was coming. Like he was 100% good to go.
That's why he went home to get his sword.
So they go back to the farm, which is like unprecedented. And then grabs the sword. Bada bing, bada boom. Here's my question. In the companion, it said that Tam left the Edmondsfield around the age 17, I believe, to quote unquote seek adventure.
Adventure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So do you believe that to be true?
Yes. Well, I don't have any reason not to.
Okay. So now do you
was this
believe
Tavern
that?
Pole?
Brother, Dan.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I know you finished my sandwiches, but
I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm excited too, Ryan.
Yeah. So like okay, there's two parts to this. Like, do you believe Tavern Pole caused Tam to leave Emmonsfield, go out, learn about the prophecies, and then find the baby?
Is it Taviran pull, or is it just the pattern being like, hey, I need you, Tam? I mean, Taviran is like a very specific individual thread, right?
Exactly.
Affecting. So
does a
I would
pattern
say,
does a pattern move people around like that, like chess pieces, or is a pattern like I thought the pattern like threaded?
I mean, it's I mean, RJ said he's like the big hand of God writing this series. So like, I mean, RJ is the pattern making the story happen. So I mean, does the pattern make stuff happen? Yeah, kind of.
Well, what did you want to say, Twitch?
I was just gonna say that begs the question, like how far, and
exactly
preconceived Tavern does that Tavern pull? You know what I mean? Because like,
yeah,
I mean, like wasn't Tam in like his late 30s, early 40s when he found Rand? Like he wasn't a young man. He was a pretty old dad.
And he came home right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he was older.
But if he left at the age of 17, 18, like how could that be a Tavern pull? But I do believe that the pattern is weaving, a tapestry. And
the pattern is telling a story. So
it needed Tam's thread to be windy and kind of make it to Dragon Mount, right?
Yeah, well, because Taviran is like the string. Taviran is more like the thread that is like pulling other threads towards it. Yes. And I'd say that Tam leaving is more of just like that's the story, that's the pattern that's happening.
I would say you'd put Tam on the same level as Moiraine. Like, where they're affecting those times. They're not quite the Tavern, but they're definitely threads that are dyed a certain color, if you will. Like there's definitely more resonance. There's more resonance to them.
All right, so MRHowley, to the end, did Tam teach Rand the flame and the void because he knew it was a way to control the one power?
I have no idea. You guys are blowing my mind with this.
I would say no to that because there's no evidence that Tam is a channeler or would know about that. But it's a warrior technique, right? So I could see Tam seeing value in teaching the warrior technique.
Well,
go on.
He says that in that same conversation of like before they spar, he's like, the flame in the void is not something just for warriors. If he could teach every man the flame in the void, the world would be a better place.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
I mean, Lan has the same thing with the Cody, right? Like it's all the mentality that is important. So I could see Tam teaching all the everything important that I could possibly teach you. I'm going to try and prepare you for this kind of unknown future, but I'm going to try to make you into most solid dude I can. I can. So,
all right, let's take this. I got a question, Brett. Now, do you think that Tam left the battlefield in search of the baby? As opposed to
again, I'd say no. I'd say no.
Exhausted, No, okay,
Yeah,
so
I would say no, but the fact that it happened, and maybe not even at the time, I'm kind of leaning in the phone. Like at the time, he like sees the baby, sees the situation. He's like, "Oh dang, this is happening." And
okay, you think
yeah,
at the moment, okay.
He's like,
maybe
this is Dragon Mountain.
maybe not fully aware, but like maybe subconsciously something. There's something going on.
Do you think it was the
I feel
moment
like he knew.
he killed Tigraine in battle? Is that when he realized? Is that the moment?
Ryan so that's Ryan's other pet peeve, that he actually cut Rand out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I
took him.
prefer the cinematic nature of the TV show for that moment. That was stellar. That was unbelievable.
That was my favorite scene of the entire series.
Dang, got my heart on that one. So
yeah, 100%. Except for when
They need one of those an episode, please. One great battle scene, and then we'll be happy.
At least, yeah. Cold open with the battle scene, and then we're like, oh yeah.
And some kick-ass powers.
And maybe we liked it because there wasn't a lot of talking.
So we, although the Two Rivers it seems pretty unique that it has these, this nuclear family type thing. Even though most of them are dysfunctional, women are beating the men. Days Conger's hitting Wit over the head. If you're picking apples out of a tree, someone's going to come and hit you with a stick. I mean, there's all kinds of beatings going on. But for the most part, we do not have this type of nuclear family. And we talked about it with the IEL, but it goes on even further. I mean, so for the most, we don't have very many fathers that we can kind of point to. Who do we have? We have Dane Bornhold, and Jeffrem Bolthold. Jeffrem is the dad. We have Bashir, but Fael fucking left when she was 17 to go because she didn't like how things were going.
Well, that seems like a more like a husband.
And Bashir dropped everything to follow the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that was later, though. I mean,
it shows mental weakness.
Yeah. He left his nation to go find his daughter, but then he even abandoned that to follow the dragon, which could be it.
Well, here's Davron's like my favorite character, top 3 for sure. He's such a freaking crazy lunatic badass.
Love him.
only dude who's gonna hurl a knife at the Dragon Reborn on the first meeting to be like, just to prove a point. But I mean, he also has a lot of respect for his daughter, right? He's got a lot of respect for her independence. He puts on the tough guy, Perrin, you better make sure you take care of my daughter, but she also doesn't need to be taken care of because, she's Fael, right? Respects the name change to from Zareen. He trusts that she's going to be able to do what she needs to do. So once he sees her as being okay, then he's going to go do his own mission, and Fael's going to go do her own thing. He doesn't need to be like the protector because that's not he raised her well enough to protect herself.
I agree. I think he did raise her well. She always refers to him. She's like, well, as my dad does. He says this. He says that. I mean,
he's very much
instilled things in her to be a good human. Or good
crazy Saldaean culture stuff aside, the crazy fight, whatever. Let's put that in a box and forget about that a little bit because I can't fully get on board with all that. But no, I think he did a fantastic job, and the guy, I love him. So
wasn't Fael writing letters and it was kind of a misdirect? You thought she's writing this long letter to the mom, and then she couldn't write the letter to the dad, but it turned out to flip around. She wrote long.
Yeah, it was like a switcheroo there. So
and she was nervous to write to her mom. Yeah,
well, because the mom will stab her. But for the most part, we don't have true fathers as opposed to surrogate fathers. I will say, I will look at Lan as being a surrogate to Rand during his training. I will look at Ruark as being a surrogate to Rand. Being an infant in the IEO culture.
Tom kind of did that first too.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to bring up Tom.
Very good point. Yeah,
go ahead.
Point.
So Tom's a father to more than just Rand, right? Like a father figure. First of all, he abandons his job as the court bard in Camelin to go take care of his nephew. I'm assuming because maybe his nephew didn't have like a reliable, sturdy father figure, and he knew that he needed somebody to fill that role. And then he takes on that role with both Matt and Rand when they break from the party in the first book. And then he kind of tries to take on that role with Elaine later on. Let's not talk about like the weirdness that happens. You know?
No, he could have fucked her, and he didn't. No, I mean straight up.
So let's not talk about the
There's
weirdness.
a very limited amount of time.
Because he had fatherly feelings towards her.
But he's giving her advice, you know. He's making sure that she understands what it is to be a ruler because he knows what it is to be a ruler. He also knows what how Elaine's mother was as a ruler, and so he's trying to instill that. So yeah, Tom fills that role for,
and he slaps Elaine when she talks shit about Morghese. He's like, "Keep your mom's mouth out your fucking."
Yeah. No, I mean, they're all the kids he never had, right?
But even with Elaine, we have Gareth Bryan. We have these surrogate father figures, but Elaine, Gawain, and Galad didn't have a true father on a daily basis that did shit. I mean, it was more or less Gareth Bryan.
It was great. He wasn't
trying
to assassinate Morghese. No, not at all.
No,
and you have the scene after Elaine takes over as the one commander for the four armies, right, at MRHowley. Like there's the scene where he comes up to her and like she's thinking like, I want his approval. Like I'm so happy. Like she's beaming from his approval.
Yeah.
And that's a very fatherly moment right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you're right, brother Dan. There's not a lot of fathers. There's a lot of men who fill those roles for our lost characters, right? I mean, even you can even look at the Seanchan and look at Tuon and the Fira Kharid relationship, right? He was the closest thing that she had to an actual like role model father figure in her youth.
There is. I would say I would just add on to that or compliment it that there's all of the good father, like actual fathers who are present, are usually off-screen type of references. Like for me, one of my favorite characters early on was I don't know if I'll pronounce his name correctly, Huron. The sniffer. He's like, hey, I want to get home with my kids. You know, I miss my kids. I want to see them again. I've been away too long. Like you see that type of good father. Again, the surrogates on the back end, maybe within that particular culture, but you do get those type of compliments along the way. But I would say it's not enough.
And I mean, it's hard to develop those like relationships in a story where everyone's always on the move to different places. So unless you're literally traveling with your dad, like you're not going to always have that present figure. So it's basically what happened in the early childhood to get you to where you are. Elder Hammond, for example, like not actually Loyal's dad, but like we got to, pay a little bit of respect there too.
Yep. He was on my
Elias
list.
And Hopper. Hopper's kind of a father figure for Young Bull.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But Ryan, you got to play the Rockstar music, Ryan.
I don't got it. I'm on a new computer.
All right. Well, Matt Stagger mentions that Dan Jamin has a point about Matt and Oliver, and that is on our.
Yep.
Well, there's. Oh, is that the new music, right?
Sure.
Nice.
No, that's a really good point with Matt and Oliver, because Matt very much has to take on that role that he doesn't really want to or has any desire to, right?
But again, it still has that surrogate to it though, because it seems like he's being raised by everybody within the band, and learning all the tips and tricks from everybody. Like, who taught him that? I didn't teach him that line, or I didn't teach him that move with the girls.
I
So
know.
I think he's getting some surrogate
But I
as
always
well.
read that meaning that
Okay.
he's
All right. So MRHowley, though, I'm going to reference an old drug awareness commercial where this dad comes in, there's a kid on the bed, and he's like, I just found this weed.
Yeah.
Who taught you how to do this?
I
Who
learned
taught
it from you, Dad. I learned it from you. I know that
That's
commercial.
my favorite commercial ever.
Yeah, that's right up there with the eggs. Your brain on drugs. This is an egg.
both
Any
of them.
questions? And I'm like, yeah, can I put some salsa on that? That looks delicious. So Matt and Oliver, Matt does hold a father role, not only to Oliver but kind of to the little band itself. He is the elder. I mean, he is the mentor. They follow him, and I guess leadership and fatherhood are, I don't know how not synonymous they are. Yeah, so when you have a band of lost, I mean, wasn't Robin Hood a father figure to the little band, to the merry men? Peter Pan was the father figure to the Lost Boys. These things, this is where I see Matt as like the father figure to them all, and he's like, I'm not. That's not me. No, fuck you. But
Lord.
I'm not no bloody lord. Yeah, she's my bloody wife. You know, that sort of shit where it's like this. The role is put upon him, and even though he doesn't acknowledge it, he is still fulfilling it.
I would like to point out, at least in my opinion, that the examples that the comparisons that you made to Matt as a father. Peter Pan wasn't a great father figure. I just want to throw that out there. So maybe Matt was a father figure, but was he the best father?
He let the kids play all the time. He let them eat probably candy all the like. What's wrong with that?
How to flirt, how to fight, how to gamble,
all the important stuff. Took him to the horse races.
Exactly.
Before we move on, this just in, everybody. We have a special guest. I'm trying to press the button. Where is it?
Oh, nice. Village. Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's
How
Day.
is everybody?
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Chris.
Good to see you guys. Good to see everybody.
Welcome,
So what are we
welcome.
talking about?
We are. You know, we're talking about the Warriors just 1-5, right? What happened? So, what were we just talking about? Oh, we were talking about Matt being a father figure to the little band, to Oliver, to not being a true parental blood, but being a mentor and providing that male role model, I get. And guys, if I say male role model, I'm not some right wing fucking where's the man? I'm just pointing out his Father's Day, and we're doing this shit. I'm not like I'm fluid in all things. Everything's cool. But
men are people too.
Men are people too. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we?
So
we don't need to overanalyze things.
So I'm not trying to just compartmentalize. We're just talking Father's Day, and we're talking father figures. And
nice.
Yeah. So I mean, we did get a big into Tam Althor, but besides Tam, Chris, who is your favorite father in the Wheel of Time series?
Ruark.
You know what? And Ruark is a great father figure.
But Ruark is a dad to Rand, when he's learning about Aiel. And I think he played a big part in the story. And, people kind of overlook that. And then he's kind of a dad to Barrelane later on.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's a good point.
So.
Well, he does spank her, doesn't he?
No,
He takes.
alluded that he did. Yeah,
It's alluded to. It's never actually said. But he talked about a lesson that he shouldn't have to give her again, and she, got blushed.
And she ran away like that guy in The Princess Bride. I'm a new one. You killed my father before you die.
So, Wolf Brother, who is your favorite father within besides Tam Althor? We're taking Tam out because Tam's, I don't know.
He's the father that everybody needs, but not everyone deserves, right?
I would say Loyal is even a father figure to the boys.
My favorite.
He's more of a big brother stabilizing influence. I don't know that he's like a father. He's just.
But it's interesting.
He's just
that
the walking encyclopedia that's calm.
Yeah, but
he's like the smart older brother that just kind of shepherds them where they need to go. He's not. Yeah, I wouldn't call him a father figure. It's more just like the wiser friend.
I kind of like Andrew as a father figure.
All right, elaborate. Because Andrew is a polarizing figure.
I agree with that.
What about Tom Maryland?
Tom Maryland is fantastic father figure. He's everything that he's the 100% protective instincts, and I think was it Ryan or Dan we were talking about this earlier. He went to go see his nephew, and he's protecting Matt and Rand, and then it's Elaine and
Nynaeve.
So yeah, but I think I'll choose Androl. I was gonna choose Hopper, but that would just be cliche since I'm a Wolf brother.
I'm gonna say me. So give me a 2-paragraph summation why Androl is the best father figure for you.
He just has so much wisdom, and he shares, and he cares about these, right? It's like I have all these orphans, and they're being picked off one by one to be turned to the dark, and he's taking it upon himself because he knows that's it, like no one else is doing it. It's his responsibility to help guide these young ones, right? He's not strong in the power. He has his very special skill, right? But he doesn't stop trying. He does what he can to help others, regardless of what situation, if he puts himself in harm or not. You could say that's, it's Andrew and it's Pavara, right? Best mom dad duo.
Okay. But MRHowley, who would you say is your favorite dad figure in the books besides Tam?
To tell you, I would probably go with Lan. And the reason I would go with Lan is because it's not only the Rand relationship, it's with all 5 of them. Because he does a lot of the formation of all of them where, he's, do this, or you should be doing this, and calling them names and, tweaking them as far as how they can become a better person or how they become more aware about their surroundings and what's around them. And I think obviously Nynaeve, yeah, but Egwene as well, he does have that type of initial father figure outside of the village that all the kids get to experience. And it's not just that one-on-one dichotomy. It's almost like, that family type of setting.
And before my kids go, like if they have a lacrosse game, they're going to work, I metaphorically say Tyshar Manetheren to them. I mean, I give them a hug and say I love them, but I mean, that's kind of the same fucking thing, right?
Yep.
Brett, who is your favorite father figure besides Tam Althor in this?
No, that's fair. I mean, we kind of talked about Davern Bashir already. So, like, besides him, because I'd probably plug him as my favorite. I mean, Mazrim Taim, obviously, he's the best father because he is the father to all the Ashaman. Like, come on, he basically started the school He trained them all how to do what they want to do. Took a bunch of of these kids, took them under his wing, and really taught them the values and morals that he liked. So I mean, father. No?
And he traveled far and wide to find those kids.
So the Severus Snape of the Wheel of Time is the best father figure.
He just didn't have enough time to have his full redemption circle.
I would like to make the argument that Rand, I mean, we can argue it all day, but
terrible
Rand
father.
Was so bad.
Yeah, so we'll get to that right now. We'll get to that. Just hold on. That's next on. But I want to point out that pretty much everyone who pointed out their favorite father figure outside of Tam Althor did not have children on page. They were mentors. They were people who took that responsibility that was not a biological seed insemination thing. That I think I still want to just point out as far as fatherhood. Anyone can be a father as long as you are providing again, as a guy, providing a proper male representation, showing that guys aren't dicks. I mean, and trying to make good adults. And this is what it seems that everyone, Tom Maryland and Davin Bashir and even Hopper, they're just trying to develop these kids into functioning good people, and that's what fatherhood is. I'm just trying to tie things back together before we all take a piss on Rand.
So real fast, you didn't ask me.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Glenn. You are correct.
So
you're the one that brought up Rand, and I'm like, no, not yet.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I would actually it's funny that you said that, because there's actually two fathers that I want to highlight real fast, and I can't even remember one of their names, but Jer Grady. He was the first Asha'man to be tested, and his wife hates Rand, but he often talks about his children, how he wishes he could see them more, stuff like that. He's off in the field. He's not able to be home and that's why he bonds his wife so that he can know what's going on with his family. And then there's, I believe, the Saldaean captain in, I think it's the prologue of, what was the last Jordan book?
Crossroads of Twilight?
No,
Knife of Dreams. Knife of Dreams. It was either Knife of Dreams or Gathering Storm, where they know the Trolloc horde is coming, and he's looking at the roster of the who
and his son in the towers.
And his son is next on the roster, and he's like, yes, I can get my son out of here. He'll be able to live. And then his son comes up and is like, actually, I'm going to give it to this kid. He's a lot faster than me, and he's younger. And even though his name day isn't for 3 weeks, the father's like, do you know what? You're a man. They have the big celebration. That's one of my favorite father-son moments in the entire series.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
I was thinking about that today, and I wanted to research it, but I don't have any of my books because they're all packed. So, but that's the one that I really.
I think that's Towers of Midnight.
Yeah,
is that
not
a
Sanderson? That's
Sanderson.
I think
it was one of the later ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I did forget about that, and I appreciate you reminding me of that. Yeah, that was touching as shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I cry every single time I read that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into Rand at the end. So Rand does father children. And spoilers, guys. Rand does father children with Elaine. At least that we know of, right, boys? Are we right? But he, at the end, takes. It seems to take entirely no responsibility for these kids. He knows they exist. He knows where they could be, and yet he fucks off. Now, Rand is a magical angel person at this point. However,
what is he?
I assume so. He lit his pipe. He smoked a bowl.
Magical angel person?
Yeah. Magical angel person, yeah. does not show any concern. He doesn't even give a thought to these fucking kids, does he?
No, he says, which one of
How do
these
we know?
girls are going to follow me? That's what he's thinking about.
I mean,
Maybe all of them, maybe one of them.
So, like, I fully believe Rand circles back. Like, he takes off at the moment at the end of the series. He's circling back. People are gonna learn he's still alive. In my like headcanon, like, he's gonna come and have another visit with Tam and let him know that he's okay. He's gonna be a father under a different like persona. Probably he's not gonna be like, oh, I'm Rand, I'll throw her from the Two Rivers. Like, you should probably drop that whole bit. But I don't believe he completely fucks off for the rest of this, like, forever. I don't buy it. You can't convince me of that.
I agree with Brett. I would say at the very least he pops in and acts as like that father figure for a time, right? And I mean,
it's not good fathering though, right?
Imagine those kids, Daddy. Imagine those kids. How come Daddy? I don't look like Daddy.
You look camp counselor, yeah.
Why is my hair red?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. He was ever.
Well, and the triumvirate, they all know he's still alive, right? Because their bond was never severed.
Yes.
Yeah, you think that they're gonna let him F off and never come? I don't believe that. Not a chance.
You need to come back here and help these kids. I'm sick of you walking around.
I don't think they have a say. These women don't have a say. Rand bones off. He's going on a walkabout. He's doing his spiritual thing, not fathering. We've all, Brett, you've had infants not that long ago.
Sure.
This is a burden. I mean, I guess Elaine will have her own little Linny who can.
I mean, they're all. I mean, you know, they got money. They can get some, you know, help and babysitters, and
they can get the best
they'll be
nannies,
okay.
yeah.
They're not worried about
God
rent.
They're sister wives.
Yeah.
They're sister wives. They're going to share the load.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
What, like twice a year?
No, like
Christmas.
He needs like a 2-week vacation. He needs a little bit of like alone time for like 2-3 weeks, which is fair. He's been through a lot the last 2 years.
Right.
He'll be back. He'll come back. He'll be back.
He just saved the world, transmigrated his soul into a different body. You know, like,
you guys are the biggest optimists I've ever met. Hold on, he took 2 or 3 weeks off, and then he went back and became a dad.
Rand is the quintessential dude who's going to do his duty. We just read like 15 books about how Rand, the only thing he ever does is what he has to do.
Yep.
Right. Like, he didn't have to do all the end up.
Telling me he's not going to.
Oh man, yeah.
But I'm with you. It's yes, I had the same thought process. Is that does he ever have any internal monologues about being a father?
No.
Like when he finds out from Elaine, does he actually
There's like a
address it at all?
paragraph. There's a paragraph.
He gets a paragraph. Okay. Was it a positive paragraph or a negative one?
I'm trying to remember. It was he goes back and has dinner with Elaine in the tent at like outside of Camelin or something, or maybe in anyways, and he's like, it fills his heart with joy or something, but he's not going to be able to be there because he's destined to die.
Oh, yeah, he's in
like
fatalistic mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But then he sits down and has dinner with Elaine, and they talk about work.
Is that the Marilor Fields?
Field of Marilor, yeah.
No, it wasn't at Marilor. She was in the because they were trying to draw out the Trollocs from Camelin into, was it Bramewood or right? And they were trying to. This is when they first split up into the 4 different armies, and Bashir was leading, and
So I guess.
Anyways, Rand's an idiot, and I don't want to swear because I think my kids are watching the stream.
Sorry,
but man, if I could, he's a.
I can do it for you. Do you want to just like message me and
No, good.
Ryan, by the way, because his kids are watching, did you know how awesome Wolf Brother is? Wolf Brother is probably one of the best dads you could find. You're lucky to have this guy, right?
I wish I had him as.
I wish I had Wolf Brother as a dad.
Will you be my dad?
Will you be my dad too?
Will you be my master Lewis?
Absolutely. I've always wanted puppets for children.
There we go. We tried to get
Please.
Rob
In
to
fact,
be our
they made
dad
a movie
for
about
so
it
long.
called Pinocchio. Tom Hanks
We're
is
harder,
playing
to,
me.
we're harder to clean than you think, though.
We'll call you Geppetto. So I think the point of a lot of these books, a lot of what the messaging we're hearing is that the father figure isn't necessarily a biological thing. And Chris, you have you've adopted, you have stepchildren that you embrace as your own. I mean, this is what we are now, where there's combined families, there's there's all kind. Yeah, we're fuck. I'm stuttering so badly, Ryan, right now. I have a stutter.
Well, you're trying to be very careful, and I think it's good for you to be like, yeah, I appreciate the effort, and a lot of people do also. It's not hard to broach like modern subjects without worrying about like tripping over some landmines. You're doing great though. The modern family is convoluted, and like
Yep.
what we're talking basically, I think the lesson of this first hour and a half is that Robert Jordan was fully aware of this, and regardless of Robert Jordan's personal like upbringing, which I don't know, he understood that the village raises the child notion, that if you're going to create a world that's like semi-medieval, yeah, like you're going to see different like practices that some are abhorrent, and some are we would never be able to like stomach in these times. Just giving up, like for instance, giving your child up as a routine thing to and not even
because you're a fighter. Yeah.
Whatever. Just because you work for Disneyland, you gotta like or whatever arbitrary thing is going on. Like we wouldn't abide by it, but he was able to create this this unique world, and again, like it's kind of like primitive in ways, and like their child rearing is a lot to be questioned. And it's funny because as we were getting ready for the show, I was thinking about like I really wanted to kind of see if I could craft the most amazing question that's going to tie in the book and get each one of you to talk about your kind of fatherhood experiences and whether or not you learned anything from the real time, or if you garnered anything, and like it's hard to figure that out because there's no real there's no real just like here's a dad doing dad shit we can all kind of relate to it. So it's interesting. And to that point, I'm wondering if you felt this also. I feel like there's like a flaw in fantasy writing is this trope of the hero without a family or without a family of origin, like kind of the Harry Potter trope. Rand's got it's all over, and it's rough because I'm a psychologically minded person. I want to know the origin stories. I want to put the pieces together. I want to like watch little baby Rand being taken care of by his mom and see what make some assumptions based on that, because I'm a psych geek. I'm robbed of that in fantasy. It's really not about family dynamics creating like the individual. It's always like the individual is besting like the outer forces that he evolves to be able to move the story forward. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it is something that I've been thought about. Go on, Brent. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I can speak to that because like I've had a little bit of whiskey now, and on this day of fathers, I feel like I can rant a little bit about this. But I think RJ did a really good job of. I mean, we talked a lot about fathers, and you have the father that gave birth to you. You have the father that may have raised you, and then afterwards, it's not really necessarily about who raised you, who birthed you, things like that. It's who becomes your mentors, because the Wheel of Time really shows us that it is not only acceptable, but it helps you grow as a person if you have different mentors throughout your life. Brand is a perfect analogy for, Janduin was your birth father. Tam is the man who raised you. Tom helped you get out of the two rivers and get you on your feet. Lan taught you how to fight and take care of yourself, right? And then
Ruark taught you the Aiel, yes.
Where you came from, brings you back to your roots. So you should have different father figures, mentors, family to teach you and develop you into this like fully whole person. It should not be up to just one person to do all that, because like for my kids, hell, I don't want them to only ever be exposed to me as a mentor. I hope to God they have other mentors, because I'm good at some things and I'm very bad at others. So they should have mentors than just one person.
Can you tell us more about what you're bad at? We have time.
I think you're bad at Italian. You can't speak Italian, right, Brett?
We don't got enough time, guys. Like
no, but to Brett's point, I mean, I had a pretty stable father. I mean, I'm sure he could have done better, and I'm sure I can do better as a father. But I also I had teachers, I had scoutmasters, I had uncles. I had when I was first entering the workforce, I had people who taught me how certain trades, certain skills that my father, and I think that's human nature. I think that's what we need. It would be unfortunate if your only role models are your parents, because there's no variety, right? You need to be exposed to many different things to become a whole person. And I think RJ did a great job in making sure, and he just didn't do it with Rand. He did it with Perrin. He did it with Matt. He did it with the Queen. He did it with Nynaeve. He did, he did it with Elaine. So it's of course speaks to him as I don't think any of us are going to argue that he wasn't a good writer, right?
Yeah,
I don't think anyone.
Terrible.
Here right now.
Just terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, so wordy. Right? So many words. So wordy.
So wordy.
A lot of prepositions.
Millions of words.
So many.
Hey, man, I really want to know what that tapestry on the wall looks like, okay?
Which one?
But, just get into his words, like his descriptions. He describes the sconces on the walls,
Yeah, just
I want to know what color cream that dress was.
What color
slash
cream silk?
What color the slash was?
How many pearls and
And then
well, world building. I'm not going to hate world building. I was a DM in D&D thing, and that's my funnest thing to do is world build. So, so maybe I describe dresses too. Who knows? Good thoughts, Twitch.
Thank you.
So I love your point, Brett, as far as the number of father figures that Rand had within the story. And what do we make the fact that he almost killed Tam then as a result? Is this
I mean, in my books, like Rand gets a lot of passes because he's under more stress than literally anyone ever. He's got to battle with the madness. He's got to battle with multiple voices in his head, not just for madness, but also Alana, force bonding him. So, I mean, he gets a lot of passes in a lot of areas, and then being manipulated one last time by Cadsuin with the Tam thing. Like, it's not good, but it's also not completely there's a reason, there's an explanation behind why he does what he does. And is it bad? Yeah. Maybe don't try to accidentally, maybe intentionally kill your dad.
Right. And how many times did Tam actually visit his dreams when he was being haunted? When all these people were coming. Maybe they had Tam Althor visit his dreams too. It's hard to trust, and I'm glad that he actually at the end was like, no, this is my dad. No, this is Tam.
Yeah.
But he, to your point, he was so on edge. I imagine he would probably have done it to Well, would he have done that to Lan? Would he have done that to Tom? Would he have done that to Ruark if they had come to him in the same situation? Or had he moved on from Tam and had to physically get himself back to say, no, this is my OG dad?
I mean, it's hard to say. He could have done that to anybody at any time because he has done things like that to people. Like in his fake fight with Perrin, he nearly kills him over a fake fight that was part of the plan. The plan was to have a fight, and then he nearly kills him.
There's a lot of emotion.
Not even full scale mad yet. So, I mean,
Dan, that moment with Tam and Rand, that was remember Goodwill Hunting? Remember that moment?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you like how you like them apples?
No, not that moment. The other moment.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. You push him against the wall. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. That was the Goodwill Hunting moment.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Rand was able to be his most vulnerable and go to that place because of his bond with Tam. That's what I did.
What do you think, Wolf? You got any thoughts on this? On the end of Tam?
It's not your fault, Wolf.
It's not your fault, Wolf.
It's not your fault, Wolf.
Nah, I get it. I think Brett was saying, like, yeah, he gets a lot of passes, and you find you can get to a place in your mind where you think, is he gonna do it? But then he doesn't, and he goes off and comes back, and then that scene where he comes back and just goes to his dad and like just weeps, right? He's like not even behind closed doors yet, like he's like in front of everybody, right? Oh man,
here's the thing. Tam gets it because he knows. He always knew.
Yeah.
He always knew that Rand was the Dragon Reborn.
Tam wasn't afraid. He knew he wasn't gonna kill him. And you know what? Even if he did, Tam would probably like, if this is what it takes for you to become.
I love you. I love
Tam
you.
Would absolutely.
It's not your fault.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Always got an Abel and Cain vibe from it.
Yeah.
Does Rand have a father figure at the end of the book? Or is he the all father?
No, it's still Tam.
Yeah.
It's still Tam.
Is
and
it?
That's what he for sure goes back and talks to Tam after. There's no way he's not paying Tam a visit.
It's Tam.
No,
I agree.
I think he would go back to see Tam before he go back to see his own kids.
Probably. I would, I wouldn't blame him on that one either.
He doesn't know his kids yet.
Hey, you're grandpa, and I'm not going to father them. That's what he would say.
So it's up to you, Grandpa, to take care of my kids.
I'm going to go jump on a ship with Matt and his wife and see what mischief I can get into.
Hey, Rand, what are your kids' names? I don't know.
That one, this one, and the other one.
G and Toe.
I don't know.
Yeah, mankind.
Yeah, he doesn't even know his name. He couldn't pick him out of a lineup. He's not my favorite.
Honest, like babies look all the same.
No,
and come on, you're gonna make that kind of joke when he's got like twins and quadruplets. Like, come on, pick him out of a lineup.
So, is he still having quadruplets?
Doesn't Avienda have like quadruplets? Isn't that part
in her way back machine? She does, but we've already established that doesn't happen anymore. It's already different because Ruark is dead.
May not. We don't know.
So it's not guaranteed.
Not guaranteed.
God, that's just so.
Chris, what kind
4
of dad
kids
do you
with
think Rand would
bad
be
feet.
What kind of dad would he be?
at the end of the book?
It depends upon if he still retains all those memories of Luz Theron, because then he's 400 years old or something.
And he's gonna kill his kids again,
and still has the memory of slaughtering his children. Yeah,
yeah.
Be extra careful.
I
think
he's too. Actually, that's a good point.
He's gonna try and do better.
No, I would go to Iceland and not even see him because I wouldn't want to kill him. I mean,
but like he knew that was because of the taint, though. It's like that's settled, that's solved. It's not like he was like, "Oh, I hate my kids."
But his mental illness isn't cured. Like,
well, he can't channel, but he's insane.
He still has.
Is he still insane?
Yeah, he thought he lit a pipe, and he didn't.
Best theory ever, right there.
All right.
So I got a question. If I may, I just want to, out of the Rand, Matt, and Perrin, which one makes the best father? And I'm thinking more books, right? Because that's when we have the more fleshed out characters. I'll start if you guys want a minute to think. I'm gonna go with Perrin.
Go clockwise. You go first.
I want to qualify this question. Like, who do we think is a better father, and then who would we want to be our father? Like, of the three, we could choose who we want to be our father, not necessarily who's the best father.
Is none an option? Is none of them an option?
Right, yes.
Is this like a fuck, marry, kill thing?
I would still say Perrin for both, because if I had the chance to become a wolf brother, hands down.
Yeah. All right.
Little wolf cub.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, and now I won't go into that because I don't want to make it about Perrin.
We know that channeling is probably sort of genetic, but like is wolf brother genetic? I don't know.
No, actually, yeah. You guys all got found in a field. You're not
let's say that there's no luck. Let's say that none of the kids are Tavern. No luck, no wolf brother, no thing. Who's the best dad?
Who has
well, then you can't. You got to factor in all the things that have happened to him.
They're all immediately.
So chapter 1, when we beat him in chapter 1 of the first book, that's it. That's all we get to work off of.
Oh,
who's the least traumatized? Yeah, who's the least traumatized father?
If I was Perrin's or Rand's son, and I saw Matt with his kids, I would be jealous. That's all I'm saying.
But that doesn't necessarily make Matt the best dad just because you take your kids.
He'd be the funnest dad. He'd be the funnest
your kids to the strip club doesn't mean you're a good dad.
I might be put in danger, but I would have a lot of fun doing it. Okay.
Everyone says Matt, you're the best dad.
Nerdy Guns, I'm going to challenge you. When we hear Perrin's point of view, he is very judgmental. He looks over the Edmondsfield people that are lined up, and he's like, "Oh, there's Big Nose Matt, and there's Baldo Joe, and there's Big Fat John, and there's Lazy
That's just Jordan being
all the time. Perrin's the dude who like literally never used to have a beard, and then his wife was like, "Hey, grow a beard," and he grows a beard, and then he looks down on every single guy who can't grow a beard. He's like, there's that idiot who can't grow a beard. As someone who can't grow facial hair very well, I take offense to that because like, it doesn't get better than this. This isn't a choice. This is just how it grows.
Yeah. And Twitch is like, well, I kind of like.
I'm gonna say, as someone who I think grows a decent beard, I would definitely don't look fantastic on you for not being able to grow a beard.
My brother can grow the biggest, fattest, thickest mustache you've ever seen. How did that genetics not get passed down to me? I don't understand it.
He took it off.
Look, my brother Ryan is hairy as fuck. He had a beard at like 20 that was down to his chest, and I'm like Indian. There's a patchy here, a patchy there. See, that's a patchy.
Beard envy.
Absolutely, beard envy. That is 100% a thing.
Beard envy.
And that's why. Welcome to my TED Talk. That's why I would not want Perrin as a dad, because he would judge me on not being able to grow a beard.
It all comes down to the facial hair. That's it.
And then he would smell.
So choose Matt or Rand, and Rand's not going to stick around.
Sad, and he would know why you were sad.
He's like, my son smells meek and picked on.
Yeah.
I wonder who's bullying my son.
That would be awful.
He just starts going around punching kids in the kindergarten.
Wolf, I might have to change my answer then.
I think Matt would just fuck around, would not be around at night, would be like, hey, make yourself some mac and cheese. And I think he would not be around much. I think my favorite would be Rand before he turns in. I think Rand is the most stable. I would not want Nynaeve as a mom. I think I would probably want Egwene as a mom. I think. No,
Egwene does not want children.
But
I'd want to be.
She had one.
Avienne to be a good mom.
Yeah.
I think she'd make sweet honey buns.
Avienne. Min would be one. I think Min would be a cool mom.
I'll take Elaine for a mom.
Min seems like a brave girl.
Yeah, Elaine for a mom too.
It's so awkward. She'd be like.
Min's off to see fish shows and shit.
Yeah,
Min
plus with
has, like,
Elaine. With Elaine, you get the
going to look at her visions.
Yeah.
Min has mushroom jar. I mean, Min's not around.
I mean, really, all these characters, I don't want to use the word selfish, but they're also self-centered. Self-centered in the sense that they've got so much going on. Each one of them is a leader of thousands of people. It's going to be hard to be an attentive parent.
That's why you pick Elaine, you pick Rand and Elaine so that you've got the royalty. You can just be a rich kid. You're
and
good.
you have Lenny. Yeah,
you can have your own chariot.
maybe
Or
that's
shoe
Morgase's future. Maybe Morgase takes over that role of Lenny once Lenny finally passes away. Because I'm assuming she's got to pass away eventually, right?
Like she's still alive at the end of the series,
right?
I know.
She actually never dies. Yeah. She was granted immortality by the Dark One. And it's cool. She's here forever.
I got a question. Which future children are doomed to be like having bad parents? Nynaeve and Lance. Do you think they're gonna? Would you rather be one of their children?
What, one of their 20 children to try to get the Malkier population back up?
Raising your own workforce, man.
Oh man!
So you're saying they're going to be the Duggars of the Fourth Age?
Nice.
Oh man,
that's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of examples of bad parenting, but then all of a sudden, like, we have these characters we love, and we love them for all these other reasons. But when it comes down to like the essential day-to-day grind of raising a child, like,
we're judging these parents off of like today's standards, and it's like send us back to like Renaissance days, and Dad's got to be off in the army for 2 years or whatever. Like, I don't know.
And you're making money by 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just hoping like you might lose a child. Dan, remember how many children are lost every year to wolves? And
dozens. Dozens of children are lost to wolves and bears.
Yeah, well, half dozen have been lost for me. My brothers, half dozen of my brothers were lost to two legs.
The two-leggers, yeah.
Ryan and I actually did.
I'm number 7. You get
Ryan and I did an improv. Remember, Ryan and I did an improv skit where we envisioned Lan and Nynaeve at a parent-teacher conference.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so awful. That would be brutal.
And Lan was the calm one, and Ryan was Nynaeve, and he's like, she just goes, angry.
I feel like Nynaeve's the one who like blames the teacher for all the problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
Starts browbeating her.
Parenting starts at home, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, King and Queen of Malkier, I'm so glad you're here. I have a couple things I need to address with your daughter.
Nynaeve, please put this stick down. No, you can't bring a stick.
Nynaeve, let go of your braid. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hands on the table.
Yeah. Hands on the table, Nynaeve. Hold on. Are you glowing, Nynaeve? Don't glow.
Or yeah, Matt and Tuan if they have a baby. Oh, imagine that.
Oh, rough. Oh, that kid is gonna be like a Kardashian. That kid is a Kardashian.
Either that or like the best ninja assassin ever.
Well, okay. In the proposed future of the Shan-Chan like dominating the Aiel, that's basically Matt's kid, right?
I mean, hypothetically, if that still can be, maybe, yeah. I mean, there's a whole lot of terrible things about that. So,
you're right.
Gross, Ryan. I never thought of that. Yeah, Matt wipes out his seed wipes out the IEO. Gross.
Yep.
Stop it, Brian. Stop it.
All right. Shoot, we're at about 2 hours, Dan. We can
probably wrap this.
Put a bow on it.
Oh, can I give one more shout out?
Please.
I do like in thinking about this, the Ogre Society. They do kind of give props to the male side, where it's son of Harrod, so they do have that hierarchy of the father figure within their the groves or whatever. So I thought, because I know we've been talking about how it's so matriarchal throughout most of the different societies because of the situation.
You need to find an alien race to have a normal.
Yep.
Well,
yes,
I don't know how normal it is, though.
But MRHowley, he's not. Loyal's not scared of his dad. He's scared of his mom. His mom's gonna marry him off. His dad doesn't fucking care. It seems.
But again, I guess that lineage of being a father and being a dad is that your son is going to remember you. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that your daughter can't, but at the same time, it tries to keep that type of progression within their society.
Well, with the Ogier, it's also like depending on if you're a male or a female is like how you introduce you. Like Aerith is Aerith,
Right.
daughter of.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it does take some of that.
I mean, I think it makes sense. I personally don't like that a woman loses her name when she gets married, and I like that a son or a daughter would identify with this is who I am. I am an offspring of this and this. It's not just this side suddenly, and I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Daniel's son of Ellen.
My middle name is my mother's maiden name. So
that Ryan's first name is our mother's maiden name.
There. Yeah.
We're Irish.
Yeah, Malone. That's my sister. That's actually Chris. That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's in my family as well. Now that you say that.
Yeah.
See, guys, the Ogier had it right. Hi, Shelly.
Hey, Shelly.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
So, is there anything we did not touch on? We touched on.
Dan, I regret running out of time. I had a half hour at least on the parenting techniques of Agenor and then raising the Trollocs.
Oh,
I was gonna say, no one's talked about the Dark One as a parent. Like
Father of lies.
Father lies.
Yeah, I mean, he nurtured a healthy, competitive
environment
type of nature between his children.
And so there was Dark
chosen.
One. There was Dark One Junior. There was Eric Dark One.
Yes.
Similar to the
Dark
Saw
One.
Holy shit! I was so trying to find a tie-in, Dan. I was doing the same thing.
Did I do it right? High five.
Yep. Boom. I got no hand control. No,
guys, we haven't said it once, but like and subscribe if you're watching. We're 2 hours in. If you're watching still, I love you so much. I get chubbed up. That's how much I love you.
Yeah, we get shoved up for you.
I get chubbed up. Yeah,
which does not bode well for Brett or Gleeman Twitch, because they're right in the chat
because they're in reference
level.
I'm good with it.
Get down.
Get down.
Wolf Brother, I hope you have an amazing a meal tonight. I hope you get your Father's Day snacks or whatever.
I smoked some corned beef and some ribs.
Really?
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Corned beef.
It was nice.
We used to be forced to eat corned beef, and I think
corned beef, my dad did not do well. He boiled the fuck out of it, and it was not good.
I don't know if I've never eaten good corned beef.
I hated it.
And that soggy cabbage.
Corned beef and cabbage was
corn and wheat.
Yeah. Old Irish.
Just open a can of corn, Pour it on top of the beef.
I didn't. What?
I have no claim to Irish descent, but my dad was born on St. Patrick's Day, so corned beef and cabbage we always have to have. And my stepmother is like the worst cook ever, and so it's like the worst corned beef and cabbage you could possibly ever have. Every year we have to eat it.
People who were born in the 50s and 40s could not cook. Guys,
Boil it.
Brussels
Boil it.
My
Don't salt it.
are top notch. I don't know what my parents were doing, but god damn, my
Thank
shit's
you,
good.
Julia Childs. Thank you.
It's really not hard, guys. Put salt. Salt.
My
If
dad-
you're not sure, put salt. That's like bare minimum.
Is it meat? Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Salt
Salt. Salt it.
Exactly. Vegetables, salt.
Boiled
Yeah.
carrots. Fine. As long as
Moves
you
in
salt them. Yeah.
And bay leaves? What the fuck is a bay leaf? There's nothing good about a bay leaf.
Yeah, when you're eating something,
God,
and
and when
that
you
pops
bite
in your
into
mouth,
it
you're like,
accidentally.
God damn it.
Arr.
It's like
And
the
they're so
reverse
hard to
holiday.
find.
Guys, I love each and every one of you on screen.
How do we
Wolf
get
Brothers
through this
7.
without- we got through this whole show without like dad jokes. There's an absence of dad jokes. It's unprecedented. I thought this was just me like my eyes and ears would be bleeding from just ridiculous dad jokes, but no.
Okay.
Why?
No.
Does anyone have a good dad joke?
Why does Julian Sander always
Uh-huh.
wear a shirt that has spots on? Oh no, I messed it up. Why does Julian Sander always wear striped? I've used this joke before. Always wear a striped shirt because he doesn't want to be spotted. Right? Okay.
All right, I got one. What does Senbui do all day? I don't know. I'll thatch him.
What?
That was dad joke. What a one right there.
Can you play the crying baby noise for that one?
Yeah. Yes,
need
definitely.
to. The baby inside me is
Oh, we
I got put in the penalty box for 2
Yep.
seconds. All right. As we're wrapping this up, let's say goodbye to Wolf Brother MRHowley. Thank you for joining us.
Anytime. You know I love it.
Well, you always bringing it. You look great. Good lighting. Brett.
Thank you for the tips.
Brett, you're down to clown. I'm glad you joined the show. Love your energy. You get it. Do come back.
Fun as fuck.
It's all because of that one theory. I get it.
No, we're instantly bonded from that. This is unbelievable. Yeah.
I get you.
It's like you guys are fathers or something.
It's like sorority brothers.
Yeah. I'm glad. So yeah. So he went out. He shot Tigraine in the face with an arrow, cut the baby out, ran out of the battlefield.
In there. There you go. He knows what's up.
It was like a Han Solo and the Tauntaun.
That was Luke, number one. Was that Luke?
No, it was Han. It was Han.
Yeah,
I thought they
Han
smelled
cut it
bad
It was
on
the
the
reverse.
outside.
He
Luke
didn't
did
put
the Force.
He
Luke did
didn't
the
put
Force to
Rand
get the
back in the
lightsaber.
body, but he pulled Rand out.
It was a Hantan.
It was a reverse Hantan.
Ryan,
Yeah, I might regret coming on this show.
Do
I
that
don't
line
know.
again, please.
Say it again.
Do that line again
Reverse Tauntaun?
from the movie.
What?
I thought they smelled bad on the outside. Is that
There you go.
Shit. I forgot. All right. Thank you, Brett. Please come back soon. Gleeman
Yes.
Twits. What should we be expecting from your show?
So we've been on a bit of a hiatus with the move and just me resettling somewhere else. But we should be back in motion here soon. We're approaching the end of the Fires of Heaven, which I'm gonna have to find somebody to help us out when we write our songs. So, but once I get a routine, and the Gleeman's Apprentice will be back. We're just on a bit of a hiatus right now. It's kind of a bummer spot to end where we ended, but we'll be back.
What song did we help write? Was it the Dragon Reborn?
No, you guys helped write the Great Hunt.
The Great Hunt. Okay.
Right?
That was
No.
fun.
No, you did help with the Dragon Reborn. That's right.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
I still get that chorus stuck in my head. The wind rides. The wind rides.
Andrew, the Bard of Time.
He's
Yeah.
the best.
Fred, I don't know if you're aware that Gleeman Twitch has been doing a read through, and at the end of each book, he is bringing on different content creators, and they actually write a song together.
You know what? I do know that. We had maybe something in the works. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. There, once I figure out my schedule, there's
And life is
somebody
crazy. So like, yeah.
Once I figure out a schedule, there's
We're seeing
Fred and
something.
Danny are the next people that I wanted to collaborate with, but I just don't have a schedule right now because I don't know what my life looks like right now.
Yeah, and it's
Like
like
you
life's
guys have
crazy.
kids
So
or something.
at some point, I swear, at some point we'll do something.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
I have ideas. It's good. They're not
Excellent.
good ideas, but they're ideas.
I love your ideas.
Well,
love your fun
I can't wait.
facts. I love
Wow.
everything about your show.
Yeah, you guys are going to write a great song. I can't wait to see that. And finally, Chris, the Village Mattress. One day, someone will call you and say, "Hey, the way the Leaf sent me." One day.
One day.
But in the meantime, the
I'm in
Village
the market.
Mattress has been a long time contributor and sponsor to our show. And if you have any furniture needs, seriously, call Chris before you go to IKEA or whatever the fuck.
If you're on Discord, just hit me up on Discord. I'll help you out.
Perfect.
So
Perfect. And tell him.
Right at the end, we're gonna have a
Dan.
kid bump. Oh,
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Right, I like that. All right, hey, Chris, can you make that your permanent? Can you actually install puppets around your Village Mattress line?
I don't think it would pass code for the sign permit, unfortunately, because I can only have what I have on the facade right now. I can't go beyond that.
Can you do the little flailing men that go like this in the wind and have them be the puppets?
If I put it out during business hours during the week, I will get a cease and desist from the town, promising a fine of up to $2,000. So I can do it after business hours, weekends.
Well, this doesn't seem slowish. This seems fascist.
Pretty much.
All right, speaking of that, the Village Mattress. Are you looking at what? Everything's slowing down for me. Dan, read the card here. Village Mattress.
Official sponsor of the Way of the Leaf. Look at these sheets. Go to villagemattress.net for exclusive deals for friends of Leaf Brothers. Mention our show and you get, guys, 30 to 50% off. Seriously,
What?
50% off?
Holy shit.
Guys,
Wow.
50% off is silly. Chris is pretty much like, I'm not going to make a profit. You just, if you're friends of the show, I'm going to sell it to you as low as cost as I possibly can fucking do. That's what that's saying.
Yep.
So call or text Chris 317-523-6831 or email him at villagemattress@gmail.com. He checks his email all the time. He gets texts, and you can find him on Discord. But seriously, guys, we all sleep. We all want to fucking sleep well, right? I mean, seriously, it's like 30% of our day is in bed. You ever been in prison? You ever been in prison, guys? You sleep on a steel cot with a thin little mattress and a crappy ass sheet and a pillow that's made of pubic hair. It is horrible.
Like this.
Oh,
right?
look at Ryan. Ryan's not in prison.
No.
Look at Ryan puppet there. Holy cow. Holy cow.
Luxury.
So guys, seriously, up your sleep game. Right, Chris? Up your sleep game.
Yeah, up it. The
That's
puppets are telling you right. Up it.
up your sleep game. Seriously,
Like a puppet.
if you're gonna invest in something, invest in yourself.
Dad,
Do it.
It's a kid's moment.
All right.
Boom.
Yeah. Such a great show. Okay, so let's all get ready to say goodbye. It's been an amazing show. I'm sorry I had the technical difficulties earlier, but I'm pulled it through. Thank you, Casey.
Ryan, our guests were so solid. It was they bailed me out. I was floundering.
I'm basically like this. I'm like a vestigial organ right now. I'm like just hanging on. I'm not even like eating bacteria off of your body. I'm just
Ryan. I was honestly lost.
Oh no, I'm getting infected.
I was lost without you. I confessed that to these men. I was like, guys, I don't know what to do without Ryan. Help, bail me out. And then they did.
Then they did.
All right.
All right, well, Brett, your t-shirt's in the mail. I got all your info. Thanks for the text.
Guys, hands up. Who's going to walk on? 1, 2, 3. Me. Awesome.
I wish I could.
I wish everyone could.
Chris, you going?
All right.
It's right after fireworks, so I don't know if I'll be able to go. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a busy weekend for you, Chris.
Yeah.
But we are going to be there. We are doing a live watchinary. It should be sweeping the nation, right?
Yeah. Just further, like the biggest broom. Like, Robert Jordan said, don't think of the wheel as a wheel. Think of it as like the biggest computer. Don't think of this sweep of the nation as just a broom. It is the biggest broom.
It's the Roomba.
It's
the nation Roomba. All right, guys. I love you and I'm proud of you. Everyone, check out the Wheel Weaves for sure. And if you have any questions about WatCon, get into hold of Wolf Brother. He is one of the organizers and has been a major part of its organization. So I respect what you're doing, Wolf Brother. And people are in good hands if they talk to you.
All right.
Definitely.
I think we lost it. Yep.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been awesome. It's been awesome hanging out with all of you guys.
Yeah, thanks,
Yes.
guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Run for your lives. That is the way to leave.
That is the way to leave. Let's run.